Okay, I'm live here on StreamYard. Hope y'all can see me on StreamYard. I just want to set this up real quick. I'm just learning how to do this. And I want to go to my share screen. Share screen. Let me try to window. No, not that window. Not that window, y'all. Okay. So let me go to here we go. So now let's try to do this. Y'all got to bear with me. I'm just, trying to do this for the first time. Let me, y'all welcome to this YouTube. I'm about to go India Arie, Spotify. Let me go to this right here. Okay. Okay. So I want to welcome you all today. I wanted to talk about this whole Joe Rogan thing with the N-word and all this stuff. So I wanted to talk about the controversy with the N-word. Now let me say this: the N-word is not a term of endearment. No matter how much we want to say that it is, the N-word is not a term of endearment. How do we know this? We know this because you would never call your grandmother the N-word or your grandfather. You never, anybody that you respect highly never gets called the N-word. That's how you know it's not a term of endearment. If it was a term of endearment, you'd be able to use the N-word for everybody. And you can, and you won't. So the N-word is not a term of endearment. In fact, most of the time the N-word is used, it's in a negative connotation. We've tried throughout history to make the N-word something beautiful. It just, it hasn't worked. But basically the N-word is like something that we're holding on to. And yeah, somebody said, or my parents. Exactly. You wouldn't call your parents the N-word. So the N-word is not a term of endearment. So YouTube, Instagram, I'm on YouTube right now, trying my StreamYard out. And so you guys can come to YouTube and watch this on YouTube on my StreamYard. I'm not going to save this video on my page on the Instagram. So you got to come to YouTube to get the saved version of it. But when this cuts off, I had about 56 more minutes on Instagram. When it cuts off, I'll be fully on YouTube. So I'm just giving you all a preview of what I'm doing right now on YouTube. And that is He Is Blanchard on YouTube. Write this down real quick on here. Let me try to pin it. Yeah. Dang. So I pinned the comment. That's my YouTube channel. Is He Is Blanchard is a YouTube channel. But anyway, so I want to start off, as I said, the N-word is not a term of endearment. We tried to make it that, and it's never been that. And so the great controversy is surrounding Joe Rogan using the N-word. Now, we're going to go through this video with India Arie. We're going to listen to Joe Rogan. We're going to listen to Ari Spears. And then we're going to talk about how many folks have used the N-word that we didn't have a problem with, including Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden used the N-word a lot, and nobody ever had a problem with it. So it's just funny that now everybody's having a problem with Joe Rogan, but we know why, because he somebody said they don't want to call me, he is. But anyway, but Hunter Biden used the N-word and nobody had a problem with it. Joe Biden's used it, nobody had a problem with it. Ironically, they don't actually have Trump on record using the N-word like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. So there's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to the N-word and who gets to use it. Most of the time, the folks that get to use the N-word are white liberals. White liberals usually can use the N-word. Joe Rogan has been deemed as a conspiracy theorist, a misinformation spreader, and a racist. So he can't say it, but Hunter Biden can say it, and Joe Biden can say it, and Quentin Tarantino can say it when he wants to. So we really pick and choose who can use the N-word. And also, many folks in our community let folks use the N-word from other races. So it's just funny that we're trying to single out Joe Rogan, but we know why. I'm going to let you listen to India Arie explain. She's basically going to explain why she took her music from Spotify. And keep in mind, the India Arie, these folks don't really make any money on Spotify's artists. But anyway, I'm going to let her talk, and then you guys can, I'll chime back in. Somebody said, us taking ownership of the N-word is like saying we also took over racism and made it positive. Pure ignorance. Exactly, Melvin. Like, we're holding on to the N-word like it's all we have. Instead of holding on to honor, instead of holding on to integrity, instead of holding on to all these things, we're holding on to the N-word, which is crazy to me that we're holding on to that. Trying to adjust my screen, you know. But yeah, it's just crazy that we're holding on to the N-word. But let me play this real quick. Hopefully you all can hear it on Instagram.
Hey y'all, I want to leave a short message here about why I decided to ask my music be pulled off of Spotify. So check this out.
No white people. Says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door and there was no white people. It says, okay,
I empathize with the people who are leaving for the COVID disinformation reasons, and I think that they should. I also think that Joe Rogan has the right to say what he wants to say. I also think that I have the right to say what I...
Now, you heard that? India Arie said she empathizes with the people leaving for the Peter Pandemic stuff, as they should. So I want you to know that India Arie, as woke as she is, as much sage as she burns, as much as she's got her chakras in line, as much as she does yoga, as natural as India Arie is, she still supports this Peter Pandemic. As I told you all, that anybody in the industry is going to support this Peter Pandemic, and India Arie is no different. So you heard her out of her own mouth saying that the people should leave his platform based on what he says about the Peter Pandemic. So just let you know, all that sage, when you move the sage smoke away, India Arie is standing there working for the system.
I want to say. So as an artist who builds, Spotify is built on the back of the music streaming. So they take this money that's built from streaming and they pay this guy $100 million, but they pay us 0.003% of a penny. Just take me off. I don't want to generate money that pays this. Just take me off. That's where I'm at. And I know that I'm actually, to be honest with you, surprised that my statements were picked up, because I thought people weren't really going to listen to me, because that's what I'm used to from the industry. But I'm glad that I am being heard, and for that reason, I want to clarify my statements. Again, this is why. Watch this.
You know,
thing.
Yes.
Saying the word nigger.
You've already.
Is just
She's calling you.
it's like this boy that he starts calling word. There should be a word, especially that niggers and nigger, and then niggers. Out the
Okay, so there was a joke he made. He said when he went to an all-black movie theater, he said it was literally the Planet of the Apes. He said he was there no white people there. He said literally on the Planet of the Apes. Now what's funny is that he was making a joke, and in the full clip, he says that was a racist joke. Now what's funny to me is white comedians have used the N-word and used racial jokes since the beginning of time, and nobody had a problem with it. We talk about not liking the N-word, but nobody's protested any of these slavery movies. Matter of fact, we beg and ask and beg and plead for slavery movies. We beg and plead, and we actually go watch films where white people call us the N-word. White people get paid to call us the N-word. We go and pay to watch it, and now we're mad at Joe Rogan. I just don't get it. Joe Rogan, they took clips from his whole time of podcasting, and what Joe Rogan says and eventually will make sense, because Joe Rogan has said, I feel like I should be able to say the N-word if I'm not calling someone the N-word. I should be able to talk about it in context and what I'm talking about. I'm going to say this. There's only one group of people that are up in arms about the N-word, and that is us. But the problem is, we're up in arms about the N-word, but we're not up in arms about everybody using the N-word, because we pick and choose who can use the N-word. So my argument is, how are we singling out Joe Rogan and not the thousands of other people like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden that have used the N-word? I've seen many comments saying the word should never be used. It's a virus. It's disgusting. But no one making those statements ever protested Joe Biden or Hunter Biden or any of these movies or any of the songs with the word in it. Nobody. So don't get all high and mighty now about the N-word when you've been hearing this entire time from a bunch of people that were not melanated. Let me let India Arie keep talking.
You know how social media can be. Things can be doctored. People are taken out of context. It's happened to me many times. However, I want to be clear, in no uncertain terms, where I stand on this is that he shouldn't even be uttering the word. Don't even say it under any context. Don't say it. That's where I stand. It's my right to stand there. I have always stood there. I have other feelings about it, but those are nuances that are not meant for this moment. He shouldn't even be saying it. And so
on Judgment Day, none of you all are going to be able to tell God that you didn't know what was going on when it came to this racism thing. And what's up, Mimi and the Ultimate Girlfriend and the Gotti Novice? What's up, y'all on YouTube? But none of y'all going to be able to say you didn't know what was going on when it came to this racism stuff. Because I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be an excuse on Judgment Day. So I'm telling you all now, the people out there fighting against racism are the same people that are going to lead you to the slaughter. The only reason anybody cares about Joe Rogan is because he had that doctor on there. And what's that doctor's name? That famous doctor. What's his name? What's the guy's name? Y'all know with the beard. I forgot his name. But anyway, when that guy got on his show, that's when everybody got up in arms. So what they do is they call up all these people to go against Joe Rogan because they had to condemn the guy that was on there speaking because he was speaking facts. Is it Dr. Malone? Malloy. Is it Malloy? Hold on, y'all. Dang it. Okay, Dr. Malone. Sorry, y'all. Dr. Malone. So Dr. Malone was on his show spitting facts, and because liberals can't go on the show and refute him, because the liberals can't go and attack these people that are talking against this stuff, they got to use your emotions against you. So what they do is they get you to look at him as a conspiracy theorist, a misinformation spreader, and then a racist. Or was it McCullough? McCullough, Dr. Malone, right? Somebody said McCullough. Malone and Dr. Peter McCullough. Thank you, Khalil. So both of them. So anyway, so once he got on the show, that's when all these folks come out the woodwork, because clearly Ari has been on Spotify and all the clips she got of Joe Rogan have been up. So why is she offended now? Why is everybody upset now? Right. Okay. So let's let her finish talking.
Of energies comes into play here. So now we have this person who is offensive to a lot of people, who's paid $100 million. Spotify, the backbone of Spotify is the music. So you pay the musicians that are the backbone of your business 0.003 to 0.005% of a penny, and you take this money that you generate over here, because all the rest of it goes somewhere. The subscription fees go somewhere. So you take this money that's generated over here and you use it to invest in this guy. Do what you want, but take me off. Or pay me too. And I don't just mean me, I mean us. Artists like me, pay us too. Pay podcasters of color too. So artist relations.
So basically, Ari is saying, now you notice she won't call him racist. You notice she won't just say he's racist. You know that, right? Because she's going to let you call him racist. She's going to play the clips and she's going to let you call him racist. That way, she can't be held on the hook with him calling him racist. It's a setup. So what she's doing is she's going to get all of you all to call him racist. And we all know that Joe Rogan isn't racist. And I'm going to say this. Just because a white person used the N-word does not make them racist. How do we know this? Because none of you all have said Joe Biden is racist. So again, using the N-word doesn't make someone racist. Now, if a person was to deny you a job because of the color of your skin, that makes them racist. Because Joe Rogan, hold on, somebody got a comment right here. Hold on. Oh, man. Sorry, y'all. Oh, man. Hold on. She doesn't mention the millions of dollars Rogan brings in with ads and subs. Well, that's the funny part. The funny part is Joe Rogan is a cash cow. He has the #1 podcast in the world. Arie isn't the #1 artist in the world. She's just not. But Joe Rogan has a #1 podcast. So if you're #1 in the world in something, people want to monetize what you're doing. I'm sorry, it's just how it works. But again, I'm going to say this. She doesn't call him racist. So when it comes to the N-word, we like to pick and choose who can say it. We like to pick and choose who can come to the barbecue. But let's keep in mind, nobody had a problem with Joe Rogan saying the N-word until he brought those doctors on his show talking about the Peter pandemic. That is the only time folks had a problem with it. So this is very intentional and very strategic with these folks coming out. And Arie can feel like she's the victim, but she is a liberal puppet. She's a liberal puppet. You see, we don't mind white liberals using the N-word because quiet is kept. White liberals use the N-word a lot. And they do it around people that look like you and I. They just do it when nobody's listening and nobody's looking. They do it. So I don't want to get all this newfound outrage when it comes to the N-word when folks been using the N-word this entire time and y'all haven't had a problem with it. And if a person isn't denying you something, meaning they're not keeping you from something in life, economically, specifically, they're not being racist. They may be prejudiced, they may be bigoted, but they're not racist. Because if they're racist, they're going to deny you something economically. They're going to deny you a job. They're going to deny you housing. They're going to deny you education. That's how you practice racism. Calling you the N-word is nothing because you can call them something back. There's nothing. You can go tit for tat. Oh, but I get it. The history behind the word makes the word that much stronger. Well, if the word is that much stronger all these years later, then guess what? That means you're asking people to give you special treatment. You mean it, right? We say it's a term of endearment, but then white folks can't say it. So which one is it? Oh, I get it. It depends on how you use it. Come on, it's just too much.
Spotify called me yesterday and they asked me what I want, and I've been thinking about this all night. I'm not going to say it all here, but what I want to say to you is something that
I'm going to say this too. India Arie, what's up, Don? India Arie actually looks good in this video. I never looked at her like that, but she's actually as attractive as I'm looking at her right now.
knew.
She's still a puppet though, but she looked good in this video.
But I want you to know that they said it last night. Most of the streams on Spotify are Black music. But we know that if you're paying attention at all, you understand the role of Black music in this world. So that's a deeper nuance.
What's Black music if the Jewish community controls the music industry? It's not Black music because you don't control the means in which the music is put out. It's not Black music. Y'all can call it Jewish music. You can call it white music, but you can't call it Black music because you don't control the avenues in which the masses receive the music. So all this trying to hold on to stuff, how y'all hold on to stuff you don't even control or own? You don't control being Black. You don't control the music. You don't even control the N-word because y'all beg for movies and TV shows where white people get on there and say the N-word with passion and conviction. They say it with passion and conviction, and y'all go and y'all love it, y'all beg for it. And then you get mad at Joe Rogan for saying the N-word in context. We're going to listen to Joe Rogan explain the N-word. He says it in context. Joe Biden and them say it in context too. Only difference is one is negative, one is positive.
There's the musicians. There's the Black music that is the backbone of the whole music industry. That's the backbone of Spotify too, who are historically underpaid and mistreated and all this stuff. Just there's a historical context here that makes all this matter. And then there's this guy, and you take this money and you pay this guy who says this stuff. No. And so it took Neil Young to open the door for someone like me, but I walked through it because I've been staying.
It took Neil Young to open the door, and I walked through it. She just told you the entire game right there. Mimi is 100% correct. Mimi said it's all distraction. She just told you the entire game right there. She just told you that the white liberal opened the door and I walked through. I keep telling you all that all this stuff is led by white liberals. That's their puppets. Malcolm X said it best. The white liberals control Malcolm X said the white liberals control the mind, the political, the economic, control everything about our people. And you heard what she just said. She said, Neil Young opened the door and I walked through. All this stuff is fueled by these white liberals. I told y'all. She said it. And it's sad that I never thought India Arie looked good. And the moment I see her looking good, she working for the system.
At this door for a long time. One of the hashtags I put on my post, the written one, what if we all leave? And that's what I'm trying to see if we could get to happen. What if we all leave? Then we can start having a conversation. It can go from a conversation to a negotiation. So
she want to go to a negotiation. So now let's go to Joe Rogan and his apology. Y'all can hear him speaking in context about some of the stuff. And I want to pull up Joe Rogan talking about when he said the Planet of the Apes stuff too. You know, I hope this is it, man.
Millionaire? I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated.
Oh, y'all got to bear with me, man. I'm just trying to work with this real quick. I hope this is it, though, you know.
Meghan Markle.
Oh, man. They don't want you to see this one, you know. Well, let me go to the Joe Rogan Planet of the Apes. And I want you to hear this story because, oh, why don't they show it to me? It's like a 5-minute. Oh, why can't I find it? Oh, goodness. I can't find it because I saw it, but let me go to my YouTube. Oh man, why didn't this come up? Now, anyway, I know you all think that I'm trying to protect these white people, but I'm not. I want you all to know this all a setup. It's not real. They're creating outrage in you that's not real. This is just not real. Joe Rogan ain't no more racist than any white liberal that y'all love. That's what it was. Planet of the Apes comments. I'm gonna get it for y'all right now. Here we go. Now this is gonna be the full context of what he said.
We can't go to there. So I go, we got to go to. So anyway, we can't go to there. So I go, we got to go one where there's Planet of the Apes, man. We're going to go see Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app and it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to go see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door and there was no white people. There was no white people. Planet of the Apes didn't take place in Africa. That was a racist thing for me to say. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is,
flies automatically stuck to your head.
Yeah. What happened is we walked into the blackest neighborhood we could find. I mean, there was literally no white people. It was amazing, and everybody was super cool. You know, it wasn't a negative experience. And this is something I wrote on Twitter, that we all went to see Planet of the Apes in a black neighborhood, an experience I highly recommend. And all these fucking people started calling me a racist. I mean, dozens of Twitter people, dude, I didn't know you were racist. Fuck you. Like, black people were saying fuck you. I'm like, listen.
Now here goes an example of the mind state of our people. Now, someone on Instagram says he could call you an N-word and you would defend him. Now, this is what's funny. This is the same person that endorsed Joe Biden that told him, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So the same person telling me that I would defend him calling me the N-word was the person that actually voted for a person that told him, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. This is how brainwashed and lost our people are. And his son, Hunter Biden, used the N-word repeatedly. But this person, M. Slade on Instagram, wasn't offended by none of that stuff. He's only offended by who white liberals tell him to be offended by. He's never even watched Joe Rogan's podcast. He don't know anything, nothing in context. He just knows that I would defend him, even though he went out there and voted for Joe Biden after Joe Biden said that if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. This is what Joe Biden said. Joe Biden, the author of the crime bill, matter of fact, Joe Biden said his name has been on every crime bill since 1978, and this person endorsed and supported Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the Clintons came out and said the crime bill was terrible. All the Black caucus leaders said the crime bill was terrible. Everybody agreed that the crime bill was terrible, and they knew it would be. Even Joe Biden said, I know this is not the right solution. I know it's our fault, but we still got to lock them up. And this person right here on here running his mouth is the main one that went out there and voted for Joe Biden after Joe Biden said a slew of racist stuff. Now ask this same person, what has Joe Biden done right now? And he can't tell you. All he can tell you is about me. Now, do you ever think this person, mslade10, went to Joe Biden's page and said, you shouldn't have said that? Do you ever think mslade10 went to Hunter Biden's page and said, you shouldn't be using the N-word? No, but he'll go to my page and he'll say it. This is how brainwashed and lost our people are, right here. But anyway, let me keep going with the story.
I am saying it was a positive experience.
Yeah, it was
I said
party,
I highly
right?
recommend it. And it was a black neighborhood. And we get in there, right? And we're so giggly high. We're like, oh my God, we're so high. And then I realized, like, whoa, everyone's black here. Like, well, I mean, everyone's black. This is crazy.
Pay
and then a bunch of
attention.
people recognize me and they start want to taking pictures. And it's all good. Everybody's cool and friendly. Cool as shit. Like this guy goes, yo, man, where I know you from? I don't want to bother you, man. I'm not trying to use up your time. Where I know you from? I go, Fear Factor. I go, yeah, that's it. But it's the way he said it. It was like so cool. And we're giggling. Oh, no one did the Smoke Rocks thing, but I took a lot of goddamn pictures. And like I said, super cool, super friendly. This is not a negative story. So then we go into the movie theater, right? It's me, Tommy, and like maybe there's another white person, maybe one other white person. Movie theater filled with black people, and they are having a good fucking time. You know, people always complain that black people talk to the movie theater and talk to the screen. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But it's good.
It adds to the experience.
Fucking yeah. If that's what you know, and like, so the way I felt like, I'm like, look, I'm in their neighborhood. This is how they go to the movies. Who the fuck am I to be offended by how they like to go to the movies? They were at the movies, and I'm not saying all black neighborhoods do this, but this particular black neighborhood, these people brought babies, bro. I mean, there's a lot of people with babies. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just one. These people in front of us walked in, and they had toddlers, like little 2-year-olds, sitting on their lap to see Planet of the fucking Apes at like 10:40 on a Friday night.
Didn't give a fuck about
Didn't give a
school.
fuck. Didn't give a fuck. But I'll tell you what made me really nervous and made me feel kind of weird was watching all of these previews of all these different TV shows or all these different movies rather that are coming out. And I'm watching these movies and all of them are about white people.
Oh, weird.
And I'm sitting there and I'm going, wow, this is weird. Like, imagine being a black person. And I always thought, like, people would complain, like, I'd hear black people complain about, oh, there's no films for black people. There's no roles for black actors. And I'd be like, so go make a movie. What do you want from me? But when you go to a goddamn movie theater with all black people, that's when you really feel it. I'm sitting there in the audience and all these people are black, but every movie preview is white. There's no black characters. And then finally there's this movie with Jonah Hill. They show a preview for the movie. And it's Jonah Hill, and he's doing all this different shit. He's babysitting kids, but he's supposed to be like a cool guy. And the way they show you he's a cool guy is there's an old black guy working like at a door at a club. Like the black guy's there, and Jonah Hill's talking black to him. It is what it is, brother. It is what it is. And I'm watching this with all these black people. I'm watching this white guy talk like a black guy, and I'm in this fucking theater filth, and I'm high as fuck. I mean, just barbecued, sitting there soaking in this experience, going, wow, this is fucked up. Like, no wonder why black people are angry and they feel disenfranchised. Like, they're completely removed from the mainstream cultural experience in a lot of ways. Like, there's a tiny percentage.
Listen to what Joe Rogan said. Listen to what he points out. In the very same clip they're using, look what he points out. He points out the lack of representation in Hollywood. That's racism. That is what we call racism. The man went to a movie theater and he's like, everybody in here is melanated. Everybody on the screen in every movie is white. He said it made him feel uncomfortable. He's like, this is crazy. Think about the experience he had right here. So the same clip they use, they're not going to play the whole clip because it gives context. They're not going to play the whole clip because it gives context. They'll never give you the whole clip. Same with fine people on both sides. They never tell you the whole clip because it gives context. And these liberals thrive off of you not having the context. The man just said, you haven't heard any of these woke people tell you that we're not represented in Hollywood. I know we make less in Hollywood. I know all the economic numbers. And I keep telling you all that racism is an economic issue. This is racism, not somebody calling you the N-word. So in the very same clip they use, Joe Rogan later on in the same clip drops a jewel. And he says, I'm in an all-black movie theater. This is what he says, his words. I'm in an all-black movie theater, and the previews for every movie is white. And then the one movie that has somebody black in it, Jonah Hill is pandering or acting like he's black to the black person. He said, no one, and then he says, no wonder they're so frustrated because they're not represented in mainstream society. What woke person have you ever said saying what Joe Rogan just said? Nobody. But the liberals won't play the whole video because it gives context. Because it gives context.
Black people that are included in movies. So finally, Planet of the Apes plays. Everyone's white in the movie except the bad guy. The bad guy is a black guy. And I thought it was so strange. And not only that, he's a bad guy who owns this giant company, and he has an English accent. It's like, not only is he but it's like you couldn't have a brother from Philadelphia that figured out how to own this corporation. It couldn't be a guy, even a brother that talks like a regular businessman type dude, you know, who's like, well, what we need to do is acquire this. And, you know, once we get that, and then we'll be on moving, and then we get in the force. You know, no. This guy has an English accent. He doesn't sound like anybody you know. And this is the only.
Now, I want you to, he dropped another jewel. He dropped another jewel. The second jewel is, why do you think all these folks in Hollywood are going over across seas and getting foreigners that look like you and I to play in the movies? Why are these liberal movie studios going overseas to get folks that look like you but aren't really you? And he even noticed it. Joe Rogan said, y'all couldn't get a person, Black American, to play this role because that would be unbelievable. Y'all had to go overseas and get someone with a British accent to make it more believable. He even noticed it. He dropped two jewels in the same clip. They didn't play you this clip because he dropped these jewels in the end of the clip. And he exposes the industry. He exposes Hollywood. All these shows you see, all these actors and actresses, they come from overseas. They don't share your experience. Why are they cutting you all out of the industry? Why are they cutting melanated America out of the industry? Because that's racism. But y'all not fighting over that. Y'all ain't marching over that. They are literally cutting you all out of the industry. He done dropped two jewels in this thing, and none of your woke friends have ever said any of this stuff right here.
Black guy in the fucking movie. And I'm like, wow. And then the rest of the movie is just badass monkeys. Just badass chimpanzees.
So was the CGI awesome? Was it?
Oh my God, is it good? First of all, the movie is the shit. Planet of the Apes is a dope movie. It's a good movie.
Now,
So anyway.
So he's being accused of being racist, but he's saying things in this clip right here that none of your woke people that you follow have ever said. You've never heard your woke people, no matter what color they are, said the two jewels that he just said. You ain't heard them. You ain't heard it. He said, I'm in an all-black movie theater, and everybody on all these movies is white. And he said, no wonder they feel so frustrated because they don't feel like they're included in mainstream society. Y'all woke folks ain't said that, but you want to cancel him. Now you see why they getting Arie and all these other liberals to go against him. The man been doing this podcast for years. Talking about he used the N-word, nobody should be able to use it. Has Arie ever boycotted Quentin Tarantino? Has Arie ever boycotted any movie that uses the N-word? Because all the movies are produced by Hollywood, produced by the Jewish community and the white liberals. So they're the ones that control all the movies that are coming out. So has she ever boycotted any movies, any films, any shows? Of course she hasn't. Have you all ever boycotted? Of course you haven't. We only get upset when the white liberals tell us to get upset. Now I want to go to Ari Spears. Ari Spears said something that was good. I mean, Ari Spears, you know, he worked for the system too, but he made some good points though. He made some good points. Here we go. Ari Spears right here, y'all. And we love Dave Chappelle, but Dave Chappelle had Caucasian people on his show saying the N-word. Y'all didn't boycott it. Y'all loved it. Dave Chappelle had Caucasian people on his show saying the N-word all the time, and y'all loved it. Y'all never said nobody should say the N-word. Y'all never said it. Did India Arie boycott the Dave Chappelle show? Of course she did. None of y'all did. Listen to Ari Spears. He makes a great point.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Ari Spears.
Oh, I know Dave is
I
not.
gotta say,
I know
man,
Dave is on too. I know he a liberal.
As much as I love my people,
Listen up.
black people, and I know not all of y'all. I know some of y'all are really savvy and smart enough to understand. But it's amazing how breathtakingly stupid some of y'all are. That you really thought that I was defending Joe Rogan by simply asking a question about context and something being subjective? Like, do y'all understand? Are y'all? Can y'all not comprehend? It's amazing. Y'all really need someone to cut up your meat and feed you, like your mother used to do when you were toddlers.
Oh, my bad. This is back. This is backlash. This is backlash from what he said. From what he said. Let me get to his, because this is backlash. This is him responding to the backlash. Everybody got upset because one thing in our community that suffers is context. Because what you all don't understand is they've conditioned you all to not understand, to not ask for context. So it's all emotional triggers. So you don't actually ask for the context in which somebody is saying something. But that's conditioning though. Let me find the first clip. Let me get to the first clip. Who's speaking? So the person speaking is Ari Spears. And he's talking about, he's a comedian, Ari Spears. YouTube, y'all know because y'all can see the videos. They can see it on Instagram. Okay, listen to Ari Spears. Listen to the questions. Listen to what he says.
Good morning, babies. It's your boy Ari Spears here. And yes, I do sleep with the Yankee fitted on, and I do have my Timbs on, in between the hat and the boots, nothing else. So, Joe Rogan issued the apology for his comments, and I know this is a hot topic, but here's my question. And to my black brothers and sisters, don't kill the messenger. I'm simply asking a question to create dialogue. So Joe says, there's no context ever in which a white person should ever be allowed to say that word. So my question is this: if that's true, 100%, doesn't that mean that the movie Django never gets made? And doesn't that make Leonardo DiCaprio a racist? If that's true, does the movie Blazing Saddles get made? And does that make everybody who was white in the movie a racist? And if that is true, do any of the historical films that have to do with race and the history of this country, do any of those movies get made? Selma, The Butler, 12 Years a Slave, Roots, and are all of those white actors in those movies who said those words or said that word, are they racist? My point is this: while I know the mass majority of black folks will say, yeah, there's no context ever in which that word should get said. And again, Blazing Saddles, comedically, there are comics on stage, George Carlin himself, who used that word. and proving a point. In the sense of entertainment, which is context, does that apply? And again, funny is subjective. Because it ain't funny to you, don't mean it ain't funny to somebody else. And again, because of the nature of the word, the history of the word, the fact that that word has so much blood on it from the hands of white folks historically. I get it. And there are those who would agree with that sentiment. But if we're being technical, and the key word is context, which should apply to anything, because again, Joe said there's no context whatsoever in which that word ever should be said by a white person. If that is true, then again, Blazing Saddles, Django, all the history movies, black slave movies, movies about black people and they, you know, their turbulent times here in America. Is it true? It's the question of the day. Love y'all, man. Love everybody, baby. DM me for the link to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. And also hit the view shop button.
Steinberg podcast. Who owns that one? I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. So what am I saying? Am I saying that someone should be calling you the N-word? No. I'm saying two things. I'm saying, well, first of all, the N-word is not a term of endearment because you don't call anyone that you respect the N-word. So it's not a term of endearment. And many folks from our community allow other people to call them the N-word. If you go to California, everybody uses the N-word in California. Hispanics, Mexicans, everybody uses the N-word in California like it's nothing. But you're telling me that everybody can use it in California except white people. Except white people. You're telling me the word is bad, but you can put it in a song when you're rapping about doing some harm to someone that looks like you. Then it's good. It's bad for Joe Rogan to say it, but it's okay if Joe Biden says it. It's bad if Joe Rogan says it, but it's cool if Hunter Biden says it. Listen where we are, and we hold on to a word. We're not holding on to land. We're not holding on to an economic infrastructure. We're not holding on to building our community up. We're holding on to a word. We're not holding on to liberty, truth, and justice. We're not holding on to the pursuit of happiness. We're not holding on to God's laws and commandments. We're not holding on to nothing but the N-word. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. You got India Arie just said, once Neil Young opened the door up, I walked in it. I'm telling you, all this stuff is controlled by white liberals. We don't have enough outrage about this stuff because we let so much stuff slide. If you go to look at black culture, lets everything slide. So there's no way in the world that we will be upset about somebody using the N-word. Someone would have to tell us to be upset. Somebody got to tell us to be upset. We don't hold on to nothing that's positive. We only hold on to the N-word. Think about that. We don't hold on to how our grandparents did things or our great-grandparents. We don't hold on to the family values. We don't hold on to the foundations they built. We don't hold on to nothing that we did great in the past. All we hold on to is the N-word. And we don't even control the N-word. So I know to many of you all, I sound like a sellout. I know to many of you all, you're like, you know what? He's defending white people. No, I just know in the future, very soon, they're going to use your blackness against you. They're going to tell you that you have to do this because you're black, and you're going to do it because you feel like you're obligated to because you're black. This is why I go so hard against black culture, because I know eventually black culture leads us back into slavery. So if you notice, you don't call anybody you respect the N-word. It's not a term of endearment. That's a lie. Then y'all got slick and y'all got woke. Y'all burnt some sage and got a little high on some sage. And then you said, well, it ain't niggas, it's niggas. N-U-G-U-S, niggas. Then it was niggas, N-E-G-O-D-S. Y'all try to get woke and slick. Same thing. You can't change the context. You can't change the context of something because you feel like it. The N-word is the N-word. Nigger is still nigga. And niggas is still nigga. And niggas is still nigga. It's all the same. I don't care how y'all try to remix it and flip it, smack it up, flip it and rub it down. It's still the same word, and it's not a term of endearment. Look at him. He say, I'm calling out India Arie. Look. This is what I'm talking about. He said, I'm calling out India Arie. He don't care about no other group of people. Do you think our people care about other groups of people? No, we care about our people. That's why they got the boule. The boule is in place because we're going to listen to our people. We don't listen to nobody else. We don't listen to Joe Rogan. So all of my talking points have to go to who we listen to. We don't listen to them other people. We listen to India Arie. We listen to Killer Mike. We listen to T.I. We listen to Brother Polite. We listen to Young Pharaoh. We listen to these people. Those are the same people that are going to lead you to the slaughter because they're controlled by white liberals. So why would I bring up anybody white when we don't listen to them? We listen to the people that look like us. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. He talking about me, but not the gate. And keep in mind, everybody that gets on me has never, ever went after any of these folks really oppressing our people. Nobody coming attacking me on social media, and it's always the men. The women don't do this. It's always the emotional, sensitive, liberal-minded, democratic-framed, melanated man in America that has a problem with me. You'll never see this person on here talking, ever went to anybody else's page and said what he's saying now on my page. You will not see anything. I talk about everybody, though. I talk about every group of people. I give it to them, every group. I got videos about every group of people on my page. I'm vocal about everybody. But guess what? We don't care about everybody. We care about our people. I talk about everybody. Now, has this person on my page, M. Slade, has he ever spoken out against these mandates and this tyranny and this modern day segregation and Jim Crow? Of course not. He's never spoken out against none of this stuff. My auntie said, man, Tam. See, these people are easy to spot. All you got to do, thank y'all for the badges too on Instagram. And Mimi said that's an antagonist spirit. You know what, Mimi? He is an antagonist. He is an antagonist because what I'm doing is when I'm speaking, he knows it's the truth. You see, the lies entertain, but the truth convicts. So what I'm saying is convicting him, and he knows it's true. Now he's trying to figure out how he can still be right and I be wrong. But on Judgment Day, it won't matter because he won't be able to tell God that he didn't know. Because God gonna tell him, oh, you knew because Blanche told you what it was all about. You just didn't want to hear it. So this is why I go so hard against Black culture. Because what they do is they put this kind of stuff in front of your face and it's really just a distraction. They just want to distract you, that's all. We don't have a problem with Quentin Tarantino saying the N-word. Quentin Tarantino say the N-word off the movie sets. We don't have a problem with it because we love his movies. We love Pulp Fiction. We love Django. We love Django. We love these slavery movies. We be begging for these slavery movies. We beg for them. Please give us some more slavery movies. Please keep remaking the Underground Railroad, the Underground Subway, the Underground Trail Car. Please keep remaking these slavery movies. Please. no matter how you spin it, the real point is we shouldn't be talking to people like that, period. I don't know what that means, Katie. I don't know what that means, Katie. But I'm going to say this, though. If y'all are so disgusted with the N-word, then don't use it. Because you can't have millions of fans listening to you say the N-word over and over and over and over again in a song, and then when they sing the song, they got to mute out the N-word. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't mute the word out. I wouldn't do it. I remember one time Kendrick Lamar invited a girl on stage to sing his song, and she sang the N-word parts too, and he got offended. I'm like, how are you getting offended if you made the song? Are you proud of the song or not? Are you proud of the song or not? If you're proud of the song, she should be able to say everything in the song. If you're proud of the song, she should be able to sing everything in the song. So guess what? I'm under this school of thought. If I can't play the song in front of my grandmother, then I shouldn't be making a song like that. If I can't play the song in front of my mama, I shouldn't be making a song like that. And it's just simple to me. So if you can't make the music and play it in front of your whole family, from the elders to the children, maybe you should be making the music. But you can't tell me you mad at the N-word when you're using the N-word not in a respectful way. Not in a respectful way. That's right. Selective outrage. Selective outrage. Selective outrage. At the end of the day, all this stuff is a distraction because what they're doing is they're making you believe that this is racism. And so if you get rid of Joe Rogan, you're defeating racism. But all the while, Joe Rogan dropped 2 jewels in what he said. He said, we're in an all-black movie theater, and every movie being advertised is with white people in it. It's all white. Then he said they're going overseas to get the British actors, and they're not using the people that's already over here acting. So Joe Rogan dropped 2 jewels of Hollywood, and that's actual racism. And that's actual racism, what he's talking about. So Arie is a puppet. If you're not mad at Quentin Tarantino or Samuel L. Jackson defending him, then don't be mad at Joe Rogan. Now, we've had many white comedians make racial jokes, and y'all didn't have a problem with it. The same folks that go viral now from back in the day that y'all post clips of, them same folks use the N-word. But it's always about context. And when it comes to us, they don't want us to have any context because they want us to operate off of emotion. If they don't give you context, they're deceiving you. Because without context, it doesn't mean anything. That means you're being controlled. That means you're being controlled. And so when I speak out against what most of you all don't see because you're emotional. And guess what? I was once there too. I thought that everything was about race. I thought that every white person was racist. And it's just not true. The average American lives check to check. So the average white person doesn't have any power or control over you. It's a lie. But the media will have you believe that every white person is rich until you travel around the country and see how poor folks really are. Have y'all been to West Virginia? Go to West Virginia so y'all can see some poor white people. Just go. Go to West Virginia so you all can see some poor Caucasian people. So you all will get your mindset off of every white person being rich. It's a lie. It's not true. But if they tell you that everybody's rich that's white, then you'll be upset with them. So it's already an emotional trigger when you think about white. So now you associate anybody white with being bad. That's what they want. So when they go after these white people and try to get their guns from them, you all will support it. When these Caucasian folks, these patriots and these rednecks and these Trump supporters, not even Trump supporters no more because they ain't fooling with them no more either. When you see them, they're going to start fighting back. And when they start fighting back, they got to have already demonized them from fighting back against what's coming up next. Because we ain't seen nothing yet. They stopping these mandates. That's nothing. We haven't seen anything yet. These folks finna turn the heat up on us. And the folks that are going to be fighting against this tyranny, they want you all to think that they're bad people. So you will go against them. It's a trick. It's a setup. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he said, somebody said for every black ghetto, there are 3 to 4 trailer. I know it is. Listen, I know. Listen, I know. I'm from Sacramento, California. There are plenty of poor white people that we grew up and saw. Like, so I've never had the illusion that all white people were rich, ever, because I didn't see the poor ones. A lot of them. So at the end of the day, it's all a smoke screen. It's all propaganda. The average American lives check to check. The average American doesn't have a saving. The average American doesn't invest. 10% of the population, oh no, 1% of the population owns 70% of the resources. 10% of the population owns 90% of America. So you got 1% owning 70%, 10% on 90%. So that means that everybody's pretty much in the same boat. 1% of the population in the world controls the entire planet. So everybody is suffering in the world because the number one threat to the world is poverty. Well, I'm about to cut you all off on Instagram because I'm about to cut off, but and stay on YouTube. But y'all can come to He Is Blanchard on YouTube where I'm going to finish the conversation. Yeah, so so YouTube. So yeah, so my main point is this. My main point is we have to start maturing and get past this stuff because what they have coming down the pipe, we're not going to be prepared for. If all of our energy is focused on trying to pick out what's racist and what's not racist, we're not going to be able to see a food shortage. We're not going to be able to see a water shortage. We're not going to be able to see certain laws in place to prevent us from doing. We're not going to be able to see that kind of stuff. We're not going to be able to see a takeover. We're not going to be able to recognize that it's Russia, China, and North Korea teaming up against us to come over here and attack. We won't be able to see it. We won't be able to see it. What's up, B Harry? What's up, Easy? So at the end of the day, we got to mature. All this racism stuff is going to lead us into destruction. All these immigrants come over here and they never are concerned with racism. How is that possible? How is somebody outside of this country looking at us, complaining about racism, and still want to come over here? What gives them so much confidence? Oh, okay. Oh, Britt, what's up, Britt? I ain't know that. What's up, Britt? What gives these folks so much confidence that they can come to America and do what we can't do? What's giving them that kind of confidence? What do they see that we don't see? They see opportunity. And when you see opportunity, racism can't stop you. It can't get in the way. It can't get in the way. We saw all these people talking, and they telling you that nobody should use the N-word, but clearly, somebody said Deuteronomy 28:37 said literally states, we will be by a word amongst the nations. That by word is the N-word, exactly. Exactly, it's the N-word. That's right. So they get a golden ticket. And at the end of the day, what I'm saying is we got to grow up. If the N-word is offending you, you're not ready for what's next. You're just not. If they can control you with the N-word, you're done. I keep telling you all, to be black is to be controlled. The N-word is part of that control. So if they can say the N-word and get you to respond emotionally, they can control you. Nobody listening to me right now was ever in bondage, was ever a slave. Nobody listening right now knows a slave. So how can that word have so much weight? I'll tell you, through the propaganda, through the programming. That's why we're in Black History Month right now. That's why I'm dressing this stuff during Black History Month a lot, to let you know it's all programming. When they do Black History Month, it's just to reset your programming. Think about what's in Black History Month now. I'm burping. I had some, I made some spaghetti. I made my own spaghetti, you know. The woman didn't make it, I made my own spaghetti. But, you know, it got to be burping, though. I have my, you know, have my spaghetti, my marinara, then I have my cut up a little avocado. And then I have my little, some spinach, you know, but then I made some, and then I went French and made some croissants. What do you want me to mention, Katie? Yeah, that's right. I'm not going to say your name, Captain, but you 100% correct. There's slavery going on right now in Africa, China, and the Middle East, and nobody says anything about it. Has India Arie ever said that there's slavery going on in China, the Middle East, and Africa right now? No, she hasn't. So her outrage is very selective. All these folks' outrage is very, very selective. Because if you're really going against the system, it's going to cost you. All that civil rights stuff was staged. All that civil rights era movement stuff was staged. It wasn't real. Now it's real. Now you see, in the era where it's real, you don't see no folks going against this. You don't see no woke, Black Panther, Black Power people going against this stuff. You don't see nobody woke from our community going against this. Who going against it? All these folks been running their mouth for the past 4 or 5 years with Black Lives Matter. As soon as this stuff came, though, these folks have been silent. Somebody said she don't get paid for that. Yes, human trafficking, sex trafficking, all this stuff going on, and these people are mad at Joe Rogan. Just think about that. These folks are distracted by Joe Rogan, and all this stuff is going on around the world. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's not real. It's a setup. It's a setup. Somebody said she don't get paid for that. No, she don't get paid for that. She gets paid to do what she's told to do. And guess what? I don't have a problem with India Arie. I don't have a problem with these folks. I'm just telling these folks what it is. Folks that get mad at me for giving you context, but they won't get mad at Hunter Biden for using the N-word and messing with underage girls. They won't get mad at him. Nobody, you go to Hunter Biden's page right now, ain't nobody mentioning that stuff to him. They may be mad at him because his father, but they're not mentioning that stuff to him. I give you all context, and then the people calling me, I'm a sellout. I'm just telling you all on Judgment Day, you are not going to be able to say you didn't know. You are not. This is why God wants us to spread the word, because God don't want anybody to have an excuse. God is all about getting rid of excuses. So I can tell you right now on Judgment Day, nobody's going to be able to say, we didn't know. I didn't know. They didn't tell me. It's going to be a lie. And I believe that Judgment Day is literally going to be like, it's going to be like a screen in front of you. And it's going to have every detail of your life. Now, the scriptures say that 1,000 years with God, okay, one day like 1,000 years with God. So Judgment Day itself could last years. I'm just saying, we don't know. But all I do know is this, is that for everything you say you didn't know, it's going to be a scene in your life that pops up and goes against what you're saying. So if you say, they never told me about race, And then my video gonna pop up with your comments on there. I'm telling you what they're gonna do. God is gonna get rid of all excuses. You are not gonna be able to blame God. You are not gonna be able to blame man. It's gonna all be on you. That's why God gives everybody a measure of faith for that very reason. So you can't say that God didn't give you all the tools to succeed. We all got a measure of faith. Revelation states God's eyes are like fire. His eyes will judge us. Well, that's even worse, Britt, because that means when God look at you, you ain't gonna be able to lie. You ain't gonna be able to lie. He gonna look at you, gonna be like, you're gonna fall down and just beg for mercy. But it might be too late. But it might be too late. You know, so at the end of the day, I don't want you all to be distracted. I don't want you all to be tricked or deceived. And I don't make the truth about race. Meaning, I would tell the truth to anybody. So if somebody's in need, I'm gonna help them. I'm not gonna base it on their race. I'm not gonna tell you nothing crazy like give this to these students and not these students. It's crazy when these are children. We going for CRT and everything else, man. It's foolishness. Bixby said, our people don't like truth nor accountability for ourselves. We love to point the finger at someone. Yeah, we love it. You know why? Because Black culture is satanic. And the only accuser of his brother is the devil. That's why we always point it, because that's Black culture. Black culture says it's never your fault. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. We have people on here that are not melanated, that are not my people, and yet they helping out my people. I was at a school one time, and the school needed uniforms. Well, didn't needed uniforms. Students needed shoes to play sports. It's in a poor community. And this white lady came, and she saw the conditions. Like she saw the students. She asked the coach. She was like, you know, where are these uniforms? And she's like, oh, we can't afford. He's like, we can't afford it. She was like, what? That woman, I don't know who she talked to, but all the sports teams got sponsored by Converse. I'm talking about gear, talking about shoes, socks, everything. Everybody got it. Sponsored by Converse like that, off of one encounter. Now you're gonna listen to these white liberals telling y'all that she racist, and she sit there and cut the check. Now the students can play, and one of those students at that school is now in the major leagues. I ain't gonna say his name, but he's in the major leagues now. She went to that school one time and said, I got to do something. You know how many parents saw that? You know how many staff members saw it? You know how many folks saw that going on and didn't put their money together to get them kids some shoes and uniforms and stuff? But you want me to believe that everybody white's racist, but they cutting the check. They telling me the NFL is racist, but you won't stop watching the Super Bowl. You won't stop wearing the apparel. I said, if the NFL is like slavery, why are y'all watching it? If the NFL is so racist, why do y'all support it and watch it? I'm going to talk tomorrow about the guy that's trying to sue the league with the class action lawsuit for racism. But the NFL is so racist, if Kaepernick said the NFL is like slavery, if it's like slavery, then why are you supporting it? It doesn't make any sense. If a restaurant was racist, you wouldn't go to the restaurant. If the Foot Locker was racist, you wouldn't go to Foot Locker. If the store was racist, you wouldn't go to the store. So in every area of your life, when it's racism, you don't support it. But when it comes to something you're calling slavery, you support it. Somebody's lying. Somebody said, Jason said, yes, they would. Yes, they would. Yes, they worship skin over God. Yes, it's idol worship. It's idol worship. He wasn't calling it racist when he had the job. Kaepernick wasn't calling it racist when he was going to the Super Bowl, was he? It wasn't racist then. It's a setup, though. They support Gucci. And this is my thing. I actually support the designers from our community. If y'all notice, the stuff I wear is from folks from our community. I do. But I also support people that I believe in what they're saying too. I don't wear Gucci and all that stuff. And I don't wear it because I'd rather wear something that means something to me. Because I believe in economic empowerment. I believe in building up my community. I believe in buying in America. This stuff I believe in. That's what I support. You got a bunch of woke folks saying America's racist, but they got on all Gucci. These folks don't support Black designers. BLM, why did BLM never support Black designers? Why don't these woke activists ever support Black designers? Why not? Why don't these celebrities ever support Black designers? Why don't these rappers do it? Why don't the rappers do it? Why don't the rappers wear clothes made by their own people? You know why they don't do it? Because it's not real. Outrage is fake. It's fake. Yeah, they say Gucci and Louis is racist, but they still wear it. So my point about Joe Rogan and India Arie is to say that it's a distraction. It's fake. It's fake outrage. You notice India Arie never said that Joe Rogan, you notice that nobody is saying that Joe Rogan is racist. Why are they not saying it? They're just telling you don't support him because he said these things, but these things are supposed to be racist. So why you're not calling them racist? There's a reason why they aren't calling them racist. And I told you all, if they call him racist, it's going to be so much content to refute that he's not racist. That's why they can't say it. They want you to say it, though. They want you to boycott Spotify. They want you out in the streets tearing stuff up. That's why they don't give you context. Yes, Mimi, it's the great inversion. Satan is going to invert everything. So white is bad, and white is bad and black is good. That's an inversion. I'm not talking about the people, talking about what they're talking about the colors. Black has always been seen as something bad. Think about that. If you went to a black hole, you dead, or another dimension or something. Black has always represented something bad, and white represents something good. In terms of describing something, like fleece and hair white as snow, fleece white as snow. You got the Black Plague. You got Black Death. You got figures like the Grim Reaper. So they called you black for a reason, and it wasn't good. You're right, Bixby. The same reason they don't call Hunter Biden and Joe Biden racist. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. So when y'all out in the streets chanting Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, when we're out there doing this stuff, what we're chanting is death. I can't breathe. We was hollering about I can't breathe, and then it turned around until you put a mask on. We spoke it into existence. Now you really can't breathe. I keep telling you all that God won't be mocked. And you know, I pray for all of you all that when I lead these lives and stuff, I pray for y'all. Everybody on my lives, I pray for all y'all. I do. Because I'm like, if y'all giving me this amount of love, then I want y'all to be blessed. And not because it's me, but because I know y'all want to succeed in life. Y'all want to get out of, y'all want to make it past the devil's plans and plots. Y'all want to win this war. Y'all want to win this war. So at the end of the day, we just got to be more mature. And I'll be honest with you, if you're offended about something, that means you're not ready. Because being offended by anything is a sign of immaturity. We should be past the offense stage. We should be like, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. We should be like, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. That's what we should be at. We shouldn't be getting offended by nothing. The Bible said, pray for your enemies. Pray for those that despitefully use you. If you do that, you can't be offended. Think about, spaghetti got me burping. Or this water. Think about the moral high ground that the Most High puts us on when God says, pray for your enemies. Pray for those that despitefully use you. It puts you on a moral high ground. So you can look at them with compassion. You know, you're not filled with anger. You're not filled with hate. It's a blessing to be able to look at somebody and say, pray for them. It's a blessing to be able to look at somebody and say, I want the best for them, even though they don't want the best for me. That's why the whole black culture talks about, I got haters. I got haters. What that's saying is, I'm not going to pray for my enemies. I'm not going to pray for those that despitefully use me. So the whole hater phenomenon was done to get you out of God's will, to get you to stop being like God. All black culture is a way to separate you from God. And black culture is going to lead us into the Antichrist movement. I'm telling you. Because everything that black culture is going to spread throughout the entire planet. Like the Black Plague. Everyone's not a hater. That's right. Most people talking about they got haters haven't done anything in life to be hated on. Most folks talking about they got a hater haven't done anything in life that's worthy of them to be hated on. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I love you all, and I thank y'all for tuning in. And I just want everybody to be free. You know, when I was younger, I thought how most of these folks think now. I thought as a child. I thought it was all about race. I thought it was all, and just to find out that it's not. Because what God has for us is beyond race. We are in these bodies temporarily. So this body is a temporary place for us. How are we putting so much focus on it? How are we putting so much stock into something that's temporary? Somebody said it's the reason why Snoop Dogg said, Delon Bigsby said, Snoop Dogg said he'll rap about the hood, but he won't live in it. Exactly. He won't. But I wish you all, I'm sorry. I want to speak life into everybody on this platform right now. And I know that God's going to bless you. I know that what God has for you all is so big and huge right now, because now you all are walking faith. You all are being courageous. You all are doing all the things that God's going to honor. And so I just know that God's going to bless y'all. I don't want to sound like a pastor. I'm just telling y'all, God is going to bless you all. And you all won't be stopped. I don't care what kind of plans or plots they have. You all are doing what God's asking y'all to do, and you're going to win. So I want to thank you all for being courageous. Thank y'all for not giving up. Thank y'all for supporting me. in my new little endeavor with a little StreamYard stuff. What'd you say? Song of Solomon says it's the little foxes that ruin the vine. Exactly. So I just want to thank you all for all your great works that y'all are doing. Y'all always give me encouragement. Y'all always support me. And I just thank y'all so much. Mimi, Navi, Katie, Perfect Girlfriend, everybody. So yeah. So I want to thank you all for coming on here. Thank you, Mimi, coming on here, and y'all, God bless y'all, and good night. Thank you. Now, how do I close this out? Let me see. I don't know how to. Okay, here. My bad, y'all. All right, y'all. God bless y'all. Thank y'all.